Coming live from Salt Lake City, United States, our guest for tonight. Welcome to this very special show of the KJ Masterclass, the show which ensures that you profit from your time here with experts either through their industry insights and information or simply learning from them. And today we got a lot to learn from John Kovach Jr. straight from the United States live. John Kovach Jr., an award-winning international motivational speaker, global mastermind leader, #1 best-selling author. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. This is truly an honor, and I love your show. I've been jumping on LinkedIn and following you and listening to more. It's fantastic. I'm just happy to be here.
And we are very, very happy to have you for a lot of people, not just in India, but outside. But you see, India is a big country. A lot of people, young people, they got to learn a lot of things, and wherever something good comes in, I feel wherever we can get something for our Indian friends here, I certainly try to get them here. So straight to the point, John, we got lots of people who are working in different aspects. They try to be good at what they do. How to be a high performer in whatever we do in our day-to-day lives. It's for everybody.
It is. In fact,
and obviously your 4 irrefutable laws of high performance. That's something I would like to know for everybody.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'll give a little bit of background. So I grew up in poverty. My family did not have much money, despite living in, a decent city in the farms of the United States. And what that allowed us to do was, get creative. And the more creative we became, the more opportunities we found. And so at a young age, I think I was about 12 years old, I noticed that my mom was putting in a lot of extra work. She was working other jobs to bring family more money so that we could go on vacations, do what the normal kids were doing, or have a little bit of extra, or even just have a cool celebration like cake or something fun for our birthdays. It was just to work extra. And I recognized how hard my mother was working outside of what my father was doing. And I wanted to add to that. I wanted to be a part of the situation. And so at 12 years old, my mom and I decided we were going to start a vending machine business. Vending machines, for those who know, are the machines you go and you put in the coins and then you get a little snack out of. We put a bunch of vending machines in businesses or offices all over the city, and we would go and we'd collect and we'd restock them. And that became our first business. And my mother was working so hard. I was working so hard. I actually really enjoyed it because, if ever this food's expired, I would just get the snack on them, which made it really fun as a young, hungry kid. But, that mindset of being a little bit more, adding a little bit of extra energy into something really helped me at a young age, because that wasn't the first business I ever enjoyed building. At age 14, I started building my own landscaping business where I ran around the neighborhoods and helped very, very wealthy people do their yards, do their gardens and so forth, so that I could help and make money off of that. And then at age 16, I was like, you know what? I love going to parties. I love going to dances. I love going to things where there's just live music and just beautiful atmosphere. And I realized that I could do a good job if I had the right equipment, if I had the right music, and I wanted to participate in that. So I saved up all my money from all my other jobs. I built myself a DJing company, and at age 16, I started DJing. And unfortunately, I put out a few local DJs out of business because I started getting all of the middle schools and the high schools and all of the local student organizations. I started getting their dances, their parties, their celebrations, and so forth. And what I learned from that wasn't that I was a good DJ or that I was a really great entrepreneur. What I realized that is I have an energy and a voice, and my voice is what I could use to help attract people into performance. As a DJ and an MC, I took that microphone, and I always carry a small microphone just to remind me. Here's a little small microphone just to remind me of that moment. And behind the microphone, I was able to use my voice to get people who were kind of shy, who probably weren't usually the dancing type. And I was able to motivate them to move into the dance floor and have the time of their lives. And that I knew from then on that I could use my voice, whether it be in the written form, whether it be in the verbal form, that I can motivate and inspire people to take action. And so that's when I started to think a little bit bigger. That's when I started to use leadership to motivate and inspire people to do things other than dancing. And I started focusing on goals and habits and things that would help them to overcome their challenges. And I'll get into that a little bit later. But to kind of wrap up my background and my story is that led to me becoming an international motivational speaker at age 16, where I focused on leadership. I focused on various principles found in one of my favorite books of all time. It's called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I also started to use my voice for good, to spread that word. And with that being said, to wrap my story up in my background is I actually came up with 4 irrefutable laws of high performance as a result of my studies. I started doing some accountability coaching, and accountability coaching is where you help a bunch of people or many people to overcome challenges, and you help them set daily goals, you track their goals, you create key performance indicators, and you follow their progress until they achieve their goal. And you either celebrate with them or you cry on their shoulder when they don't achieve it, and you help them through that process. And so I've learned a lot in all that, and I just wanted to share a few tips and tricks to help you with high performance so that you can easily take a small difference in your daily schedule, your daily habits and attitudes, so that when you achieve your goals, you will see yourself achieving goals at high performance rates. And that's important because many of us can achieve goals. I got up out of bed this morning. That's a goal. I did it. Woohoo. I start drinking a big gallon of water a day, whatever I need to do. But those are little things. If you can achieve the little things, you can achieve the big things. So there's just a little bit, and we can get into more of that. But I just wanted to share how I came to be who I am and why I wrote what I did.
Right. So would you like to elaborate? Firstly, mothers are the same everywhere. Your mother works so hard for the family. And we can, culturally, we can relate to that. Indian mothers also do so much, a bit sentimental, but then mothers are, I guess, the same everywhere in slightly maybe different ways they show their love, but I guess it's the same everywhere. So it's nice you brought that up, that helps a lot of people here also understand more about USA, the families and all. It's not just about what they get from Hollywood movies,
Yeah.
And there is a life where people struggle to try and find meaning to their life, try to run their families. You started so early in life, at 16, and vending machines and everything. Can you elaborate a bit more on this, laws of performance, very simple ways that how, if in all fields people are there, but these things will help them be a better performers in whatever they do, business, day-to-day life, just being themselves.
Absolutely. And thank you for the comment about my mother. She really is an inspiration to me. She's overcome a lot. And I will say that in all of this, my dad or my father is an extremely hard worker. And despite the poverty we grew up in, he's overcome that. And he has been my stalwart example of tenacity and perseverance. And my father has been just an amazing example of hard work and somebody who puts his nose to the grind and really makes it happen. And that's something that's inspired me. So thank you for saying that. And as a result of these 4 irrefutable laws of high performance, and the reason why I call them the 4 irrefutable laws, it's because you can't go without them. These are literally things that I did not invent these. These are just natural things that we've accumulated over years that if we put in the right context, we will achieve great things. And I author this in my books, and I'll talk about this a little bit later. But the 4 irrefutable laws are actually very simple. And they are laws because the laws that conduct success require action. If there is no action, then there is no abiding by these laws. And the first law that anyone can to really just adopt in their life is personal accountability. You need to have personal accountability. And what that means for me is everybody knows the definition of the word integrity. Integrity is, and most people will define integrity as doing what you say when people are not watching. And I would like to add to that definition and say integrity is not only what you do when people are watching, but integrity is what you do as a result of the promises and commitments you make to yourself. Integrity is far more important than what other people see or think. Integrity is all about what you personally do, say, and think and act as a result of your commitments. So personal accountability is number one. We can't even achieve any of the other three laws of high performance until you establish a personal accountability system. And it is super simple to do. Absolutely easy. If I say I'm going to wake up at 7 a.m. in the morning, I need to be gosh darn sure that I wake up at 7 a.m. in the morning. I need to do whatever it takes. I need to set the alarm at 6:30 so I can take 30 minutes to roll out of bed, or I need to set up something that when my alarm goes off, I get splashed with water or whatever I need to do. I need to take the time to make sure I do what I say I'm going to do. That is the most important. If we build integrity within ourselves, we will be able to succeed moving forward. I'll touch base a little bit and I'll give you guys some free resources to help you dive deeper into these four irrefutable laws.
I'm also writing it down. You see that it's not never too late to learn something. So first is personal accountability. I've written it down myself. Okay. Please dive deep as you want to.
Awesome. I appreciate that. And based on what you said, I will say I had a client who I was helping achieve their goals. And this client was 73 years old. And this client wanted to improve their health, their wealth, and their mental stability. And that was it. And I said, okay, health, wealth, mental stability. And I said, okay, you're 73 years old. I'm 27 years old. How am I going to help you with your mental stability? And we did a lot of research. We did a lot of understanding, and I actually learned that first law, the first law of high performance, personal accountability, that this person actually was really suffering from a lack of trust and a lack of confidence in themselves. And when we worked on little activities every single day to build confidence and to trust a little bit more, all of a sudden their personal integrity just skyrocketed to the heights they've never seen before, and they were allowed to give themselves permission to achieve. All of a sudden, I see the 73-year-old who has never run a mile in their entire life start training for marathons and started swimming in open water because they wanted to train and keep their body right. And then when they were taking their body seriously and their health seriously, all of a sudden, up here in the mind, it became stronger. And it was so important to see this because, again, such a disparity, 25, 27-year-old versus 73-year-old. And I still was able to help this individual just to see that confidence in themselves and a little bit of trust helped them to create a stronger ability within themselves to be integritous and to do what they say they're going to do. And even at 73, you're never too old. You're never too young. You can start whenever to start having a little bit more confidence in yourself and building that personal accountability. That's law number one. And law number two only builds off of law number one. So if you don't get that personal integrity down, it's going to be tough to move forward. But irrefutable law number two of high performance is that you need to develop some sort of accountability system with an accountability partner. And an accountability partner is somebody who you can trust. And you see where I'm going with this. The 73-year-old had issues with trust. And if you can have a little bit of confidence in yourself, you'll be more open to trustworthiness with other people. And I use this opportunity to share that when you build trust with one another, that means that you can be held accountable as well as be accountable.
Right.
Most people think of the word accountability as doomsday. When I read the news, when I open my newspaper and I read, what's going on Wall Street in the United States, or what's happening with the world banks, and I read up on everything going on, I'll see articles about, this person needs to be held accountable for the moves they made in the market, and it's frustrating because accountability is not a negative thing, and it's
Right.
not a doomsday thing either. Accountability is a responsibility, and if
Absolutely.
you can achieve responsibility, then you can acquire so much more in your life. So principle or law number 2 is you need to adapt and develop an accountability partner system. I recommend that you do not use a family member or somebody who's really, really close to you that's going to let things slide. You want
Yeah.
to find
In fact, I was going to ask you about
yeah,
that, how to create an accountability system with an accountable partner, and how to find one. And now you have said that it's not going to be from within the people you are close to. So how does one do that? That is more belief, self belief to trust somebody else.
yes, you're absolutely right. And there's 2 ways that I would recommend finding a great accountability partner. First of all, it can be a friend. It can be a friend, but that
Okay.
friend needs to be the type of friend who will never let you slip. The kind of friend who believes in your goals, believes in your dreams just as much as you do. And typically, this is the kind of person who isn't just going to be belligerently bullying you into your goals and dreams. This person is going to hopefully ask for reciprocity. And reciprocity means what goes around comes around. So if I find an accountability partner, a friend who I say, hey, friend, look, my goal is to develop a nonprofit in the Philippines where we build a freshwater pearl farm. I know this is totally an interesting random concept, but if I
Oh my
want to
God.
address a freshwater pearl farm and use the profits to help families in the Philippines and all over the world build their small businesses so that they can be self-sustainable and financially stable, can you help me be accountable to those goals? A big dream, big goal. And my accountability partner is somebody who says, you know what, I believe in that. I think that that's such a really great idea. I would also like you to help me. All right. And my accountability partner says, I'm working on a goal where I want to travel the world. I want to leave my small city and go see new cities, new countries. And I need to be able to make, an X percentage of my income to do so. And I need to achieve sales bonuses and all these things. Can you help me do that? And I say, wow, wouldn't that be cool if we could travel the world together? I love that goal. So you share love and appreciation for each other's dreams and goals, and you use that energy to help one another. So there's reciprocity. So now you've acquired a friend who's excited about your goals, who, when you fall up or come up short and you say, hey, this week was kind of rough. I didn't raise any money for my business. They say, man, that's really bad. Like, don't you know that your goal is more important than you not getting sleep? Or don't you know that your goal is more important than you taking the time to go to happy hour with your friends and drink some alcohol? Like, it is more important that you achieve your goal and do what you say you're going to do because you are full of integrity. Law number 1. Don't you want to do that? And that person will hold you accountable. And I love that because they respect you. They give you that information. And when you do achieve it, that person's there to celebrate with you. And so it helps you so much more. So again, the qualities of a great accountability partner are, first, somebody who won't let you fail, somebody who definitely believes in everything that you are working towards. And number 3 is that you can use this person for a reciprocal partnership, and that when you give some, they will give back as well. That leads me into irrefutable law number 3, which is, when in doubt, when you find your accountability partner, you can also upgrade, what I call it, upgrade to somebody who is absolutely going to give you a system and a process to achieve what you want to achieve. This person is usually a business coach, an executive coach, a high performance coach, somebody in the realm who can coach you or help you do what you need to do, but because they've either done it or that they have a strategic system on how to do it faster. My personal understanding of achieving high performance is not just doing it better, faster, stronger, but it's surrounding myself with the types of people who will know how to get you there faster. And this is really the lead into the last two laws, is because you need to be around people who know how to get you there. If I want to go to right now, the Winter Olympics is on, right? And
Right.
we're all from around the world, we're watching the Winter Olympics. And
Right.
if I want to be an Olympic athlete, I'm not going to go to my kindergarten gymnastics coach and say, can you take me to the Olympics? I'm going to go to a coach who has either coached gymnastics, who has been to the Olympics, or somebody who knows what it takes to be a high performer. And I'm going to follow their advice. And so law number 3 is, once you have your integrity, once you have other accountability partners, if you really want to accelerate your success, you want to invest in yourself by working with somebody who can get you there faster. And that is through the professionalism and the acceleration of a professional accountability partner. I call them coaches. Some call them mentors. Some call them partners. I want you to find somebody who will truly get you there. There is no greater investment than working with people who know exactly what you need to do and will absolutely hold you accountable. Because once you have that, you will be able to accelerate your success. So that's law number 3. Are you ready for law number 4? Because
Yes.
This one's the pinnacle. This one wraps it all up. And you'll be like, wow, I can easily do all 4 of these. High performance number 4. Law of the irrefutable laws of high performance number 4. I am called the global mastermind leader. I travel the world. I speak on many stages, and I teach people a principle from this book here, Think and Grow Rich. And I know that this is available in every country. Think and Grow Rich has a principle called the mastermind methodology, and it's in chapter 10, and it's extremely simple. When you surround yourself with 1 or 2 or 3, 1 or more persons, and you get together regularly, like once a week, twice, or twice a month, or when as often as you can, and in the same spirit of harmony and understanding, you work together to achieve each other's goals and dreams, overcome challenges. You find ways to help one another. This is literally your closest group of allies, your confidants, the people who you can trust with your business, with your family, with your life. These are a group of people who are more interested in you and willing to help you first rather than serve themselves. This is the type of person and the group of people you need to surround yourself with. A lot of people will say, and we all have heard, you are the average of the 5 people you hang around most. We've heard this. Absolutely. And when you hang around really, really successful people, that's really great. And a lot of people say, wow, I should surround myself with millionaires, or I should try to surround myself with real estate moguls and gurus and people who have lots of money, because that's the kind of person I want to be. That is true. You need to surround yourself with the types of people who you want to be with. But there's another step that we forget. It's not just hanging out with these people. It's not just going to happy hour with these people. You need to have the heart and the mindset of serving these people. And let me define the word serve, because I think in other countries and cultures, that word could be misunderstood. When you have the heart of helping other people, where your mindset is, if I help enough people get what they want, I will also get what I want in return. If you have that mindset, you are now thinking on 2 different levels than the regular level. I call this the levels of influence, okay? The first level of influence is 95% of the world's population out of 7 billion people 90% of people think this way. They think on a transactional level. When you think on a transactional level, you're only thinking about yourself and you're only thinking about what you can give, what you can gain.
Get.
And that's the type of attitude we see when people go on Facebook or social media. They see so many advertisements, so many things that people post, and those are very, very transactional communications. That influence is what the world is used to. But if you want to separate yourself from the rest of the world, all you have to do is think on a different level. And that is think on either a level of reciprocity or a reciprocal level of thinking, or a perpetual. Perpetual is ongoing, effervescent, never changing, evergreen. And that's what you think. So when you have the attitude of, I'm going to give as much as I can to help this person get what they want, so that I know that they will always have my back, that they will also in return help me get what I want. If my heart is in helping other people, I will get everything you want. There's a very, very famous international world motivator named Zig Ziglar, Z-I-G.
Right.
Yeah, everyone knows Zig, right? And Zig Ziglar, his entire philosophy was, you can have anything in this world if you help enough people get what they want.
Right.
You can have anything in this world. So if that's your understanding, irrefutable law number 4 is to surround yourself with a mastermind of people. And a mastermind is a group of people who believe the same thing. Number 1 is, I will serve you before I serve myself, so that you get what you want, and I know you'll help me too. These are the types of people that you must surround yourself with if you want to have accelerated success in any area of your life. And I have put all 4 of these laws to the test. I have researched them for about 10 years. I've been an accountability coach. I've helped athletes. I've helped professionals. I've helped an intern go from intern to CEO in less than 9 months. I've seen individuals build businesses, triple their income, scale their businesses, sell it for millions of dollars. I've seen all of this happen by just using these 4 irrefutable but yet simple principles. And that is, first, personal accountability, the most important. Second is to have an accountability partner who you trust. Third is to hire a coach if it's necessary to get where you need to go. And then the 4th one is to surround yourself with more than one person that's going to believe in serving you as much as you believe in serving them. And when you surround yourself with those people, you will achieve great results of success. When I joined my first mastermind, it was a paid mastermind. It cost about $500 a month to be in this mastermind. And I literally just quit my job because I was working in a real estate office in Salt Lake City for one of the wealthiest real estate brokers in the country. And I was so excited about where I was in my life and my business, but I recognized that I could do so much more if I used my voice for motivation and power. So I actually quit my job, and I realized that I needed to be a part of this mastermind where I was helping CEOs and other business owners achieve what they needed to achieve. And I wanted to be there, but I didn't have any money because I just quit my job. But I did anything I could. I drove for Uber. I delivered pizzas. I donated my own blood and plasma for money. I did whatever I could to be in that room. And sometimes that's all we need to do, is do whatever we possibly can to sacrifice and be in that room so that we can surround ourselves with the right people. In just a few short months after sacrificing and making it work so that I could afford to be in that room, I tripled whatever I was making back at my corporate office. I started several new businesses. I started writing my first book, and so many other amazing things came from me helping other people as they were helping me. And that truly accelerated my success. And I don't speak for myself. I speak for everyone else in that group, as we took a 19-year-old and in just 6 months, they built a business that was making them over $500,000 by just taking photos of homes for real estate agents. I took another business who made a synthetic hair product from an online retailer to now selling synthetic hair materials for worldwide customers. And she is now doing amazing. And
Right.
so many other products and services came out of this small little mastermind group. And what came for me? Oh man, my life changed. I was more motivated, more inspired to be a part of a group of people who were high performers, high achievers. So there you go.
Yeah.
There are the 4 irrefutable laws of high performance.
Yeah, I've written. Yes, yes, yes. I've written them all 4 of them. On the 4th point, I had a small, question.
Absolutely. Ask
John.
away.
Yeah. One small question. I guess somebody said, I most likely it was Elon Musk, but I'm not sure whether he quoted some from somewhere else. But I read it as part of him that he said that when you are the smartest person in the room, then perhaps you are in the wrong room. Now, on the levels of influence and having a good company and keeping yourself with a mastermind. Now, how does one do that? And if he can find confidence in those people and they are your own people, then actually they should be helping. How do you get the best out of that situation? How to balance both the things together?
I love this question. And I agree with that statement wholeheartedly. I know that when you surround yourself with people who are much smarter, know what they're doing, that you absolutely can provide value. And it's with that heart of serving one another, right? If you go into any situation, some people will question, they'll say, I can't surround myself with millionaires because I don't know how to help them. I don't know what to give them. If you sit down and buy a millionaire a drink, all of a sudden they're a lot more interested in who you are and they will open up to you. It's as easy as it's a 3-letter word. It starts with A, it ends in SK. We need to learn to ask. A lot of us think that if we don't if we don't know ahead of time, then we're never going to know. But the truth is we need to be naive enough. And I also say you need to think like a child. You need to be so naive that you don't know, that you'll just ask questions. I know that every little 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, they ask me the same question. Why? Every little question is why this, why that? Because we get so frustrated. But if we channel the heart of a child and we ask questions, we can always find what people need. And what people need, oftentimes you'll be so surprised. It's so simple, and we can always help them. Sometimes it's as easy as like, you know what, I just need to call somebody to talk. Sometimes it's I just need somebody to, like, if I'm ever in a crisis, can pick up my family and take me to the airport or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's super simple things that we all have access to or the ability to do. So my answer to your question is first of all, yes, 100%. You need to surround yourself who you believe are smarter. So I would go to places where I know that smart people hang out with, because I know that I am a simple person. I can always find someone who knows a lot more than I do. And second,
right, and you have answered about why they would allow you to do so. So you have already answered it. ASK, you ask, isn't it?
Ask, exactly.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's very important. Not to be hesitant, and there should be no fear of failure in your mind on anything. You keep on trying and get the right people who like you enough to actually guide you. Tell me, John, are these 4 irrefutable tips? How are they applicable for businesses, entrepreneurs? How do people in businesses use those tips? Or is there some sort of they got to work around these things and use them in a different manner in business?
Yeah, I love this, because whether your goals are health related, wealth related, goal, career, you can use the 4 irrefutable laws in any area of your life. And I found that to be true by focusing on one thing at a time. There's a great book by, and this is also an American or US book based, mostly used for real estate agents all over the world. But the book is called The One Thing. And the one thing is just the principle of focusing on one thing at a time. I know that many of us have many big goals, big aspirations, many things that we'd like to achieve. There's also many problems that we need to solve, many things that we're going through, challenges and tribulations, things that we need to understand that need to be overcome in our life. As a result of that, it's so important to just focus on one thing at a time. I've got over here, I own 3 or 4 different businesses, and I've got a stack of papers that need to be done today or tomorrow for each one of these businesses. It's tax season. I know we need to file our taxes. And as I look at them, I realize if I try to tackle it all at the same time, I will never get any of them done, and I will owe so much money to our government. But if I just say, you know what, one stack at a time, one paper at a time, I need to block my time so that I can achieve those little things. I will achieve each one of these stacks. The same thing happens for our goals. If I want to build a nonprofit in the Philippines, I need to take one little step at a time towards that goal. I need to outline exactly the blueprint that it takes to achieve that goal. I need to call up my friends and say, hey, can you help me be accountable to achieving this goal? I need to do this every day or this every week in order to achieve this goal. I hire a coach who says, yeah, I've built nonprofits before. Let's do this. We can help you. We got this. And then I go to my mastermind group and I say, we're building a nonprofit in the Philippines. We need to get some funding. Can you help me find things that I will be able to use to fund this nonprofit? And they will have all their resources. We work together to solve the challenge. Using all 4 laws in congruence, it will accelerate the process.
Yeah, John, you see, but everybody wants to be a multitasker. So what is the correct way? Means, is one thing at a time is the real thing, or tasking is just something like it's not possible? I mean, I never claim to be a multitasker. I do only one thing at a time. If I'm talking to you, that's the only thing I'm doing right now. I can't do anything. I'm not a superhero or something. Even superheroes are also, I guess most of the time they focus on only one thing at a time, saving the world. That's it.
You may not be a superhero, but I think you look awesome in a cape. You wear a cool cape.
Thank you so much.
You know what's funny? Like with athletes, right? I can teach an athlete to pat their head and rub their tummy at the same time, right? That's multitasking. I can also train them to switch their hands, and look how it's a little bit harder for me on this side, right? So to pat your head and rub your tummy is to teach your brain to multitask. But honestly, truthfully, and respectfully, I'm going to lean in and I'm going to say this with a serious face. Ready? Is that you can only achieve things at the rate that you can get one thing done. And so if you can get multiple things done at the same time, that's great. But if it takes you a little bit longer to get things done, even though it feels like productivity because you're doing more than one thing, it's likely that you'll be able to achieve things faster if you focus on one thing at a time. And I truly believe that. I am actually clinically diagnosed with something called ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. And that's just because I have a very, very hyperactive brain. And what that means is if I don't hyper focus on one thing, I will get distracted. I will move on to something different. And many people do have this what I call a superpower of being able to multitask or to focus on multiple things. But the truth is, and many of my favorite financial gurus, the people who know the most about finances, is that if you need to pay off a debt, you can't pay off debts all at the same time. You have to start with one focus. And then they use a term called snowball. I don't think there's snow in your part of the country and world that you're in. There's snow in Salt Lake City, but a snowball, if you take a snowball on the top of a mountain, just a little snowball, and you roll it down the mountain, it will accumulate more snow, and that snowball becomes a big boulder, and that boulder becomes a giant avalanche, and things start flowing down the hill. The same thing can happen if you focus on one little thing in your life, is that if you focus on that goal and you push it forward and you achieve it, the next part of that will accumulate and be able to move forward. And then the next thing, and then the next thing. And then you're able to manage so much more at the same time. So simply, I don't believe it's possible for people to truly live a sustainable, profitable, and prosperous life multitasking. But what they need to learn how to do to acquire wealth and prosperity.
You are a motivational speaker, John. Then the world keeps on saying, you got to multitask, man, hustle. And this word hustle has, become such a rage everywhere. Now, how do you balance that out? You listen to your boss, or you listen to the fact that you can't multitask?
Yeah,
How do you throw the word hustle out of the window?
I love that. And it's not that you have to throw hustle out the window. I think what it is we've all heard the phrase, don't work harder, work smarter. And if you work smarter, it'll appear like you're working multitasking, right? But I promise, if you focus on one thing at a time and get really, really good at doing that one thing, you will be able to achieve more in your day than the average person. Here's a little hint, okay? When you're sitting at your house and your wife comes up or your spouse comes up and says, "What are you doing? We have 10 minutes before our family's coming over. We need to clean the house, do the dishes, wash our clothes." And you're like, "Oh, I forgot." And in 10 minutes, somehow, some miracle, you do all this energy and you get the kitchen done. You do the dishes. You get all the laundry in the pantry. You have everything done in 10 minutes. And it's a miracle you got all the chores done before your family came over, and you save yourself from embarrassment. Somehow, some way, you were able to do that. How? Well, what if you take the same panicky or the same hyper focused energy towards one thing at a time? You will be able to achieve more in smaller amounts of time than you do multitasking a dozen things in a large amount of time. And that's the answer to achieving great things. Napoleon Hill talks about this in Think and Grow Rich.
I want to ask you, John, how old were you when you wrote your own book?
Thank you for asking. I wrote my first book at age 25. And that was an ebook that I wrote for the 4 Irrefutable Laws of High Performance. In fact, I'll give you and your listeners a free copy of that. They're welcome to have that. And
I'll put it in the description if it's okay with you.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's an easy, quick read, a small ebook. But I want to give people resources because it's super easy. Then I started reading and writing more books in the last 2 or 3 years. In fact, I'm involved in a book series called The 13 Steps to Riches. It's based on Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, but it's a 13-volume book series. Each volume comes out every other month. So I'm on my 4th book right now. We're moving on our 5th book. Will be a 5-time #1 best-selling author from this book right here. It's called The 13 Steps to Riches. You can buy it on Amazon. You can buy it in any retailer online throughout the world, on Amazon, wherever Amazon is in your world, part of the world. It usually ships in 10 to 15 days. But this is one of the 13 volumes. And we talk about the different principles to a successful, rich life. But it's not about being rich in just money. It's being rich in relationships, rich in your faith and your belief, rich in your mindset, and rich in anything you do. Because Napoleon Hill is correct when it says it's not just about being rich. There's a book on the, I think it's up there on my shelf. It says, "This is how to be rich." And they're talking about money. But this book is Think First and Grow Rich. You've got to use your brain to think smarter, not work harder. And I'm a big believer in that.
Perfect. You have explained these 4 irrefutable laws of high performance very, very well. And I myself written them down. And it's going to help me for sure. All 4 of them, whatever questions I had, I asked. tell me one more thing, because you see, it's been 45 minutes and we haven't even realized, So that's the good way the conversation is going. It's actually not a talk; it's a conversation. And when you converse, and it's a good conversation, then actually both everybody enjoys it. And I'm sure the viewers, whoever are listening right now, they must be enjoying it. Now, you speak well, John. I must tell you, it's a nice way you speak, and you are a motivational speaker, so you have attended so many speakership works and workshops and everywhere. Can you share some tips on how to be a good speaker? A lot of people want to speak. Even if don't want to be a motivational speaker, you've got to speak in every space of your life, maybe in office, at home, anywhere you go, in your community. So just if you can share some tips.
Absolutely. And I'm a big advocate for the social media channel TikTok and Instagram. On TikTok and Instagram, I actually give daily tips on how to become better at either public speaking, motivational speaking, or even corporate presentations. I feel like communication is one of the most powerful tools. And here's a few really quick tips on how to help you become a better speaker, whether you want to be public speaker, motivational speaker, or just do better at communicating, whether it's in your office or your business. Okay. And I promise you, the better you become at communication, the more respected you will become from your peers, from your coworkers, your colleagues, and the people around you. And maybe communication is, as you described earlier, how I was able to work with so many great, inspirational, but really, really high level people. Tip number one, you've never heard this ever before. I highly recommend that you read at least 10 pages a day. And I know that sounds like a lot, but if you read at least 10 pages a day from any book in self-development or just a book that is interesting to you, that will help you become a communicator. But there's a step 2 to step 1. If you read at least 10 pages a day, just start adding up the math here. If you read 10 pages a day, you'll be reading an average of 50 books a year. That's pretty cool. And the average CEO reads 60 books a year. So just keep that in mind. Number 2 is as you read, take the time to read out loud. Now, this is super annoying because we are used to reading our children bedtime stories, or that seems so childish to do. We're not in preschool or primary, but we're here. If you read out loud, you start to formulate true, valuable, congruent sentences. In language, in culture, we get so casual with our voice and with our language that we use, superlatives, explicitives, things that just don't really make us better speakers and communicators. But when you read and you read out loud, you start to formulate and practice in your mind the ways that help you become a great communicator. And then when you're finished reading, try to take that same energy and have a conversation with somebody. I really, really enjoy our conversations together on this show because now I can sit and listen and have a wonderful, fluid conversational sentence. And we can go back and forth, banter back and forth, have some fun. And it is absolutely enjoyable. You feel more intellectual. And that's like tip number 3 is if you read and you use audio or you read audibly aloud, you also start to build a confidence in your speaking. And those are just a few easy, simple tips. One other tip I'll share with you is if that you have a goal or a dream or maybe a mission, something that you're so focused on in life. I write all of my goals and all of my dreams and all of my missions down on note cards. This is just a simple 3x5 note card. And every day I write these things down to remind myself. But just like I said, just like I advised earlier, if I put this on my mirror or if I put this on the wall that I get ready for work every day, if I put this by my computer, every single day I repeat out loud my goals. And I say stuff like, the exact amount of money that I will make today is, and I fill in the blank with my goals and dreams. I will give in return for this acquired amount an exchange of effort, attitude, positivity, and focus. I need the focus part because I have ADHD. I use
No, but you have
other
used it very you have actually used something which you had no control on, but you have
Yep.
actually used it positively to focus on only one thing at a time, isn't it? And that's the big takeaway for a lot of people who who actually get a chance to listen to this.
Absolutely. Victim mindset is, I may have a disability, but I don't think of it as a disability. I
Absolutely.
use I use
Absolutely.
my abilities as a superpower to get what I need to get done. And yeah,
Right.
I do get distracted really easily, but I don't focus on that. The positive aspect of all the things that I have are my qualities, and I work with those. If I try to work with qualities that I don't have, then I'm only going to be spinning my wheels. But if I work with qualities I do have and I figure out how to turn those into working for me, then I'm able to get a lot more done. There's so many great studies of that, and many people can actually be hyper focused and hyper effective at everything they do, that they don't need to work 10 to 12 hours a day. Rather, they can
Right.
work 3 to 4 hours a day and go work on their hobbies and their interests. That's more interesting to me than working 10 to 12 hours a day. So that's
Right.
just a thought.
Right. Right. Any further tips that you would want to add to be a good speaker, John, or is it that list is complete? Whatever you have said.
Oh, the list goes on, but I will share another few simple tips. Obviously, following the irrefutable laws of high performance, you need to surround yourself with people who are also great communicators. If you surround yourself with people who are constantly begging, nagging, negative, say things that are inappropriate, you too will say all of those things. But if you surround
Absolutely.
yourself with people who are positive, motivating, influential, good communicators, you will be inspired to do so. I've
Right.
made so many times of trying to fit in and going to a meeting and cracking a joke or trying to be the jokester, and realizing that I quickly ostracize myself from the culture of a group because I am not surrounding myself with these people regularly. I need to acquire that. Another great tip for motivational speaking is that when you give speeches, or even if you give presentations, to practice every day is to try to communicate what you're trying to say in 1 or 2 sentences. And a really good way to do this is truly to stand up and to try to give what you're trying to say in a much more succinct and simple way. Oftentimes, because we are casual with our language, we will work around and try to figure out to say what we're trying to say. But if you can take a deep breath, stand up, and try to say what you're trying to say in just 1 or 2 simple sentences, you will feel so much more accomplished. And you can do this, once, twice a day, or as often as you want to in any conversation. But practice speaking and getting to the point as fast as you can, not speed wise, but simplicity wise. And if you do so, you'll find yourself a much more confident speaker. You'll find yourself being able to get to more points. The best motivational speakers, the best public speakers in the world are not the ones who teach one topic and pull in people for hours and hours and hours. The best speakers are the people who can teach on one topic but share dozens of examples in a very short amount of time, because they're very good at that. Another great tip for everyone is get really good at storytelling. Storytelling is going to be the fastest way to captivate audiences and to teach them that what you have to say will add value. If you become a great storyteller, you will become a great orator. And as a great orator, you will become better at public speaking. There's a simple design or formula to speaking in stories. And that is, if anyone watches any movie from Hollywood to any movie or DVD that we have, there's a structure in that story. there's a buildup, there's a climax, there's a challenge, and then there's a Cinderella or a happy ending, right? And if we follow the same heroic story in all of our stories, which we typically do, then you will become a better speaker. So just follow the structure of normal movies in your stories. I started as a young kid in poverty. I grew by learning how to grow businesses. My family was in so much pain and we couldn't do anything that we wanted to do because we had no money. So I had to make that moment where I decided that I was going to help my mother make more money. So I did. And my mom and I built a business. And this business created so much awesomeness for us. But that business had struggles. We had to learn through those struggles. And at the top, at the climax of the story is we were able to do amazing things together. And as a result, my family was able to climb out of poverty. And my family was able to go on vacations and do fun things together. All of these things combined created a great, simple story. And I did that in just a few short sentences. And if we practice those things, then we will become better speakers.
Wonderful, John. Wonderful. It's been around 55 minutes, 50 seconds. You see, you followed your heart. You followed some principles that you knew would work, and you followed them, and you reached where you are today. And I guess this is good enough for anybody to have a look at these irrefutable laws about how to be a good speaker and emulate some of them to achieve even a bit of success that you have achieved such an early age. On that note, John Kovach Jr., thank you very much. And it's a wrap on this edition of the KAJ Masterclass. Hope to have you very soon again. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.